Guys and girls, Corey Hind. We're talking about SEO for plumbers, but really this could be applied to any trades business. So the idea is I want to teach you guys a few things that you can do which will help you to stand out on Google, rank higher than your opposition, and get the free leads that are around on the internet. So we're going to use a few things that we've previously published as guides here. So we've got an article from our blog that we're going to refer to a little bit. And we've also got another process we're going to talk about as well. But to start with, we're going to talk about, really SEO is about growing your business. So being ranked high on Google is something that people want to do because they know that when people need a product or a service, they go to Google and look for an answer. Whether they do things like if we go to Plumbers Seattle, just as a place I've picked, when you go to Google, you've got the map pack listings up the top. So you want to rank well there. You've then got the organic listings down the bottom here. You want to rank well there because it's another piece of real estate on the front page of Google. Sometimes at the very top, there'll be paid ads as well. So when people say rank well on Google, they could mean any of those things. And probably if your business has big aspirations, you want to rank well on all of those things, Google Ads, Google Maps, and search as well. So there are lots of places you want to rank. And typically when I look at a trades business like plumbing in pretty much any city or place in the world, there are, let's say there's 100 people doing the thing, the top 5 to 10% will be doing this stuff well. The rest will not be. So if you do things well, and this process we're going to outline in this video could be long, by the way, but go back to the articles and work through the stuff in your own time. But if you work through this stuff, it could take a while, but it'll be worth it because the top people on Google always get more leads and referrals. That's just a truism of the internet marketing space. And you'll see, when you look around your city, there will be some blog articles, there'll be other things as well. But really what we want to do is get to the top of Google on the map pack listings and the organic search. That's what we want to try and achieve. Now, because I want to give this video a bit more punch, I want people who are plumbers to actually use all of these ideas to grow their business. Likewise, if you're an electrician or a roofer, whatever it might be, you could apply all of this stuff to your trade as well. So we're going to go back a couple of steps and just assume that really what you're trying to achieve is business growth. Because when people come to us for local SEO, really they just want to grow their business, which we're happy to do. But there's lots of things you can do to grow your business in the internet space or just the who do I use space when people message their friends, etc. So I'm going to assume that you've done some of this stuff already before we get to the actual SEO at the bottom using the article we've got as a bit of a guide. So the first thing I would always recommend people do is go to their friends and family and tell them what they're doing. Easiest way to get leads for any business on planet Earth is tell your network what you're doing. Something like, I do XYZ service for XYZ people in this location. I'm doing plumbing for corporate organizations in Seattle. I'm doing high-end lighting for schools in Los Angeles. Whatever it might be, tell people what you do really simply. Reach out to them, put it on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you are. Just tell everybody what you're doing. I personally have this lesson. I've been in marketing for a very long time. I ran into some friends just last week who had used another service provider for exactly what I do. Now, whether they're trying to keep friends and business separate, I'm not sure, but it's very worthwhile going back to people constantly to say, hey, this is what I'm doing. This is where we're doing it. We also call this the 3W method. What, where, and who. What are you doing? Who are you doing it for? And where are you located? Now, the next thing that I would assume you've done or you should do before you get into the nitty-gritty of SEO, and again, we're putting SEO at the end of this because SEO can take a long time to really take hold and get you going. Some of our clients have had to sit tight for 9 months to a year while I've done the work to get them ranking well locally for their business. And for some small businesses, that's a long piece of string. That's a bit of time before things start to happen. There's a bit of faith there, which is great. Thank you for having that faith, people. But thing number 2 would be go to your local Facebook groups. So just get busy. So we've got a business probably 500 meters from where I live. It's a local truck business. So they do things like take your rubbish to the tip. They help people move furniture, all sorts of things. I'm confident that 95% of their business comes from our local Facebook group. Go to your Facebook groups where you live. Usually you can qualify for 1 or 2 or 3 Facebook groups nearby where you live, or this could be other online groups, and use the search function to find mentions of that business. Pop your details there. Hey, I do that. Would you like a free trial? Whatever, I can do that. You know what I mean. So get into those local online groups. It's very well worth it. We've seen, in particular, the mowing industry where we live and other cities near where we live, mowers picking up loads of work just from Facebook groups. And other marketers will say don't rely on a platform you can't control like Facebook, which is entirely correct. But remember, once that lawn mowing client or plumbing client or whatever is on your books, they're going to be with you for some time. So especially if it's a recurring type of business like mowing the lawns. So that's a really profitable place to be. Now, the next thing to do before you get stuck into the nitty-gritty of the SEO is to just create some free buzz. So the example I've got is a lawn mowing business over in Hamilton, New Zealand, not too far from where we live. It's about an hour and a half that way. So you'll see this URL here. If we click over there, that will take you to the page on their website. So basically what they're doing is they're offering up a free lawn mow every week. Pretty cool. So what I would do as an adjunct to this is I would say, hey, the conditions are that we have to take a before and after photo, and you've got to give us a Google review. So offer it out there, go to your local Facebook groups, pop that link and say, hey, we've got a free offer. Bit different. It works because people start to talk about it. So just create some buzz. Now, the other way that you could do something like this would be to, for example, for a lawn mowing business, maybe offer to mow lawns for free of prominent places where lots of people are, the local church, the local school. Just do something to get seen in the community so that you can start to get some clientele that way. Step 4 would be a local SEO course. We've got several of these. I'll link to some stuff in the bottom of the video. So a big thing that we do is local SEO, meaning that this process I'm talking about now, we walk people through those steps to get them ranking well on Google Business Profile and for their organic website as well. So you'll see this one here, I can't show you too much, but there's a bunch of steps that we take. There are courses. We've got loads of content on YouTube and our email list, and I'll put some courses below as well. The local legend process is the current iteration of that. So that's things like optimizing your Google Business Profile, making sure it's well filled out, making sure they've got reviews, making sure that you've got mentions on your website of where you are, all that sort of stuff. Really useful because if you're a local area business like a plumber, you want to show up locally. The next thing would be, and this is just a repeatable process, we get our clients to do this. When we started doing local SEO, we were nice and soft about it and said, hey, we recommend that you reach out to all of your clients from the previous week every Monday at 10 o'clock or whatever time it might be, ask for some feedback and ask for a review. Now that we realize how important that is for their success and our success, because we want them to win, we insist on this process. So we say, if you want to work with us, here are some things that you must do, otherwise we won't work with you. And no hard feelings, but maybe look elsewhere. So we say to people, we're going to sit down with you on Zoom or in person if you live nearby us, and we're going to map out a script of emails or a thing you can do, and we're going to lock it in your calendar every single week. So you go back to your previous people and ask them about the service, how it was, and get some reviews and social proof, because that is huge. The more social proof you've got, this helps your SEO because Google can see that you're local, you're doing good work, and people do their homework now. So really, if you're looking to grow your business, reviews are a critical part of that, and before and after photos is fantastic. Might not necessarily apply to plumbing if it's a broken toilet, for example, but there are examples of plumbing work that you could have before and after photos as well. So don't disregard that. All right, step 6, now onto the actual SEO. This is really important. So this article here was put out on our blog earlier this year. So at this point, if you want to stop the video and just work through that article yourself, all the links work, all the tips are there. I would strongly recommend you go through those previous steps first because that will get you business, get you clients faster. If you're not a plumber, you're something else, just adapt for your type of business. But if you want to work through this now, let's rock and roll. So the first step in SEO is to figure out what do we want to rank on Google for. Okay, so emergency plumber, plumber, plumber city, plumber suburb. That's usually obvious stuff. Now we know that, for example, plumbing, things happen really fast. So a pipe could burst, something could go wrong, and there's immediate risk to the property. So people definitely grab their phone and search up really quickly. They don't have time to submit forms and wait for 2 days. They want to call you fast. So this can be an important process. The Google Business Profile is definitely something to focus on locally, but also the rest of this process as well. So the first thing we usually do is figure out the keywords that you're trying to rank for. Now, in our space, the SEO space, people, I think, overcook this process by a long way. Really, the vast majority of your clients, as we'll show you below, are just going to search for plumber area. That's it. So if you focus on that and then words that support that, you're going to do pretty well. Don't overthink it. Yeah, you might have emergency plumber, you might have blocked toilet, but generally people are going to go plumber city. So just remember that. When you go to tools like Mangles, which we use, you can search around a whole bunch of stuff. So we've put in there plumber Tauranga, which is the city where I live, and it's told us that there's about 650 searches per month on Google for plumber Tauranga. There's also emergency plumber, but that's only 20 searches. So again, that natural intuition says plumber city or plumber area is going to be the one to focus on. Likewise, lawnmower, roofer, electrician, whatever business you're in. So it's usually something quite obvious that you'll be working on. However, for plumbers in particular, we've got a whole bunch of words here that you might want to create pages for and seed or pop these phrases and words in some of your content on your website and your blog and your pages. If you do want to get right into the keyword research, there's a link there in the article which takes you to Keyword Finder, which is a Mangles product. Now, competitor analysis. Like I said before, generally speaking, it's going to be the top 5% of trades businesses are going to be thinking about this stuff or doing active work in the SEO space, Google Business Profile space. Usually more will be running Google Ads, but trying to win the organic game of Google Maps and your website is harder and slower, so less people do it. What we do know is that a lot of people go right past the ads because they want to see which businesses have earned those top spots and why. So especially with Google Maps or Google Business Profile, they know that the reviews are a big part of that, so they're going to look for that information. So it's well worth doing. But if you've found that a few businesses are doing things and they're beating you on Google, it's well worth doing your homework. So we suggest you grab the free Mangles SEO extension. There's a link in the article, and you can do some homework on the websites that are competing with you. It'll tell you things like the meta title they're using, which is the blue section there. It'll tell you about the headings. You can just get some intel on what your competition is doing, and it's a useful thing. So as we've said down here, you want to figure out what your leaders in your space are doing and reverse engineer that so you can beat them. Now, the next thing is on-page optimization. This for an SEO campaign on a website. So if we took on your plumbing business in your town today as a client, we would actually start with this sort of stuff initially to get the business going. That's where we would start. When it comes to the website and getting it to rank better, on-page is the place to start. So things like the meta title, which is here. The URL is generally in place, but you can create pages to help with that. On-page optimization also refers to the header tags. So the headings on the page, there's a H1, normally times 1 per page. Then there's subsequent smaller paragraph headings as you go. So then you've got to look at the content on the website, see if that's dialed into the words and phrases you're after, and then the images as well. So as we've said down here in the summary, the headings, titles, and words on your website and these other places support the goals of what you're trying to do. There's a really cool tool here as well by Wincher. You'll see that wincher.com/free tools/on-page SEO checker. That helps you with your on-page SEO to look at the words, phrases, and what Google is seeing on your page to help them decide where to rank you. So once that's improved, that on-page stuff that Google looks at, that can jump you up pretty quickly for your website anyway. So do that. Right, section 4 is called local SEO. So we're going to move past this because there's other sections that we're going to link to below which will help you with your local SEO. But really what local SEO means is how do you rank, how does your website rank locally for your area, and how do your other things rank locally, like your Google Business Profile, even things like Facebook groups, etc. Are you showing up in these places as well? We have a sneaky little trick that we use for clients, which is around the local Facebook groups, as we mentioned at the start, going back through all of the mentions of that in that area. So that, for example, you can go to the search bar in a local Facebook group. If it's plumbing, you might just search for a few plumbing phrases and then go back and pop the link for that business in there, or even the Google Business Profile link will do that too. So with your local SEO, check all of your citation listings, so your yellow pages and your directories and all those things, make sure they're all good. And then just, focus on your Google reviews, because that's a really important part of local SEO. People just want to figure out who you are, do some research, make sure you're legit, and get in touch. Now, mobile optimization, just do this. Go to this website, run your website through it, smallseotools.com/mobile friendly test. Obviously, people have got their phone in their pocket all the time. When something goes wrong in a plumbing case, for example, they're going to be using their mobile. So make sure your website is optimized for mobile, and there's a really obvious call to action like call now, book now, reach out, something that's really jumps out on there. Make sure you go and have a look at that as well. So please do that. Now, technical SEO, we're going to move past this, but this is essentially, if you think of how a house is built, it's got to be built to code. Now, as a non-builder, you can't really tell if your house is built to code or not. You just know what it looks like, right? So the technical SEO of a website refers to the coding, the build of that website that we can't see when we look at the website. So for example, the biggest one will be a slow website, a website that loads slowly, Google won't like. So we need to pick up any of these technical faults and fix them. Now, to do that, we've got a whole bunch of links on this article where you can work through and you'll pick up things that need fixing. Certainly, a slow website is not appreciated by Google or people, so we want to fix that. But run your website through these things, you'll be surprised at how many little things are picked up. And once you start to improve those things and fix those things, your website generally starts to rank higher, get more traffic as well. Backlink building. Now, once you've done all these other things, you do need to focus on links to your website. We referred to citations and directories before, so linking on your local citations and directories is really important, and they'll normally give you a backlink to your website where they mention your website, links back to you. This is part of the, like the triple pack of SEO, which is how is your website built, the technical, what is the content, what's on the website, and then how many links come back to the website. So when Google built their what's called the PageRank algorithm, so way back in the day, they said, well, we've got all these websites coming up. We have to decide who's good, who's bad, who deserves to be up here and who deserves to be down here. So they decided to go, well, maybe a good vote of confidence is the number of backlinks coming to a website. So they still look at the backlink profile, which means the type and the quantity of websites linking back to you. We've got a really good article here. So go through that one. It's an article about how to get good, safe backlinks to your website. It's an entire sort of process that takes time, so have a look. We've also got a resource here on Gumroad, which is for Australian and New Zealand clients. It's got directories and citations where you can link your website for free, get a whole listing on there, and it links back to your website. If you're in another country, for example, the USA, just type into Google best business citations USA or Canada or England, and you'll find a list comes up and you can work through that. Right, the next part is content marketing. You need to publish stuff frequently to tell Google and people what you're all about. So again, this is a really complicated game to play if you want it to be, or you could just do it a really simple way, which is to do it with a social marketing idea like Plumbers, where you can go into a guide we've got, just click on that link. It'll teach you how to set up Plumbers and how to publish stuff frequently to your social places so that you're present frequently and in the topics you want to be present about. So go through there and see how that goes. All right, so once you've done all that stuff, then you just start to watch the data and see what's happening. So get hooked up with Google Search Console, maybe use something like Mangools to track your keywords, and then watch your Google Business Profile and see how that goes with its ranking and its appearance. If you get a start on all of this stuff and you apply yourself to it, weekly for a long time, eventually you'll win. Now, some summary points here. This really is the starting point. So keep this article as a reference point, keep working on these things, and if you need some help, you can pop comments at the bottom of this video and say, hey Corey, look, we've done this and this, we're struggling with that, can you explain that better? We will do that. Okay, now that's pretty much the video. Do look at the links in the video description as well, because that supports all of this stuff. If you feel like you need help with it, we do a few things we can help you with. So thing number one will be paid consultations. You can book in a call. I'll get on a Zoom call with you and help you do this stuff. That's something we do. We've also got local legend process, which is a local SEO process we walk you through. That's like a 4 calls over a month process. That's a bit higher up the price point, but that's really useful because we work through a lot more of the stuff with you so you can rank higher. And then the biggest way to invest with us would be to do say, hey Corey, we're at the end of the time, take this off our hands, do it better for us as a client, so we can do that too. So if any of those are interesting, just reach out, comment below, track us down, we can help. All right, thanks for watching. We'll talk again soon. Have a great day. Bye for now.